So what we have here, this is a Hildebrand quick change rear end. I had a customer bring in here. What we're doing here is I'm going to show you how to dial in on a hole for machining. So what has happened is that there's been a crack in here, and we've got to come in here and I've got to turn this and get it ready for a bearing in here. As you can see, customer welded this, repaired the crack, and now we got to go in here and turn this back in to fit the new bearing. And so how we do this, you can see I've got this set up on my mill. It's clamped here, and it's also mounted down here on this machine side axle here, or input where the drive line would go. And you can see I've got it held down here. It's clamped down onto that. I know that that's going to be machine surface. Coming up here, how I was able to get this, you can see that this has kind of been chewed because it's so old up, so I can't use that finish. But what we can use is down in here where it has been machined or currently. So I'm going to show you how I dial indicated this. I actually had to kind of make up some sort of a fixture, and as you can see here, I have a small Starrett dial indicator in there running in that. And what we're going to do is we're going to tune this mill and get it all set up on this surface for the bigger bearing to go in here up underneath and machine this housing out to fit the new bearing. So pretty tight space. Wasn't sure if I was going to be able to do this or not, but it looks like I can. I've got enough room here in my mill. So how do I go about dialing in a hole to machine a new hole? Well, if you're familiar with any kind of 4-jaw chucks on any lathes or anything like that, you know that there's 1, 2, 3, and 4 sides on the chuck that you use in pairs. So 1 and 4 together. Let's see, 1 and 4 go together, and 3 and 2 go together, I believe. Let's see here. 1, 2, 3, and 2. Yes. So 1 and 4 to go together. Well, it's very same on this. So if I'm dialing this in, I'm going to use it in 4 places. And you imagine this hole, there's already bolt holes in here. So I'm using that kind of as a reference to see where I need to dial into. So you can see my indicator, it's the focus, is set up there. And if you can barely see that, it's on 0. So I'm going to do that. So on this mill, you got an x-axis and you got the y-axis. And then this is a Z. So what we're going to do is you're going to focus on one axis at a time and get that dialed in, and then we'll worry about the x-axis. So this is the y, this is the x. So what we got to do is, I usually like doing the y first because it's visually easier for me. So I dialed it right here, and if you sweep it across, this has already been dialed in, dead center. So like again, we're using these bolts here, and you can use those bolts as a reference spot to get 180 degrees from the opposite hole. You can see there we're still sitting on 0. So what I would do is say that this is 25 thousandths off, or let's say 20 thousandths off this way and this way in total run out. I can take and half that number, so I can just dial this in and bring it to 10 and sweep it across and check, but it should put me right back on to 10. And then now that my Y is figured out, I can go ahead and do the x-axis, which is this side. And again, using the bolt holes as an actual reference point on your indicator, set up that. So how was I able to get everything squared up the way that this is sitting on here flat? Well, I was able to use, if you have 1, 2, 3 blocks, I love 1, 2, 3 blocks because you can take a 1, 2, 3 block and a parallel, and you can actually use this and set it in here. You got a nice clean machined finish here up against another nice clean finish here. Well, it's not reaching over, so what we can use is a parallel. It's a machined polished parallel already, and if I pull out a parallel, I can run a parallel across there as well and get that set up to make sure that this setup right here works, and make sure that there is no gaps right here off of my quill. So the quill is this part right here, and I'm able to actually come down with my quill and measure that, and to get this set up on in both directions, right, with using this 1, 2, 3 block and a parallel. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this done. Yeah, we'll go ahead and turn this now. I'm gonna get my boring tool out. We're gonna go ahead and get that board out to the right press fit of what it needs to be. Just wanted to kind of show you these rear ends. I guess they're pretty valuable, and kind of how I would do it if I'm machining it. Thanks for watching. Go ahead and like and subscribe. Thank you.